Let's roll.
Well, and with that, we'll kick off another episode of Mundelein Minute. This is episode number 30 for this season. 30.
Cue streamers.
If I edit. Yeah. I will. So I did edit the last one, the one that we filmed last week that I published this morning.
Yeah.
Because I had to add all those slides.
Oh, yeah. I hope somebody... That's a good episode to watch. I hope you people watch it.
Yeah. That one's really good
All
because
10 of you.
it talks about the
budget, which people should care about.
which we passed last night.
Right, which people should care about. Let me make that clear. You should care about that.
About the budget.
The
Yes.
budget.
You should care about all of this. It's municipal government.
But-
It's really fun.
Okay. Who are you?
Thanks for bringing that up early in the episode today. My name is Eric Schwenk. I'm a trustee in the village of Mundelein.
Me too.
And that's also Eric Schwenk.
I'm a trustee in the village of Mundelein.
This is
I'm
Kara.
Kara.
And this is my house, my cameras. There's no taxpayer dollars in the creation or distribution of this podcast.
All right.
Also, there's kids upstairs,
Running
a wife.
around.
Yeah, they're running around. Some friends are coming over shortly. There's cats. There's a bird. It's about to get loud in here. So hopefully we'll finish this up before it gets too crazy.
We have to because I have a call.
And you have a call in
23
20 minutes. Yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
Let's
So
roll.
last night we kicked it off at 7 o'clock. Trustee Cabatuela was absent. We had a pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence for two trustees that have passed away in the past few weeks. Two prior trustees. So it was it was sad, and we had a moment of silence in honor of that, a recognition.
Yep. Then we rolled right into it. There was no approval of minutes. I think the clerk is still working on them.
Yeah.
No presentations or awards. There was one public commentary. One or two? One.
There was two.
Who was the second one?
One for the HOA.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have my notes.
No, there was only one. Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a public commentary last night. Somebody that lived in an HOA at Diamond Point was curious about the Groot contract and how it worked for their association.
Yep.
And he already has an answer.
So I don't know if you picked up on this. We did have a public hearing, or the Liquor Control Commission.
Was at 7:30.
It was at 7:30, and we rolled into this so fast that we kept having to look at the clock to come back to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll get there, I guess, or should we do that now? Where do you want to go?
You know what? Let's get it out of the way. So
yeah, it annoyed me, so let's do that.
It annoyed me as well. This is the second time in 2 months that we've had 4 violations come before the board. 4. And it pissed me off.
Yeah.
So the last one I even brought up that I think that the fines need to be increased, that I will support the
Super
ones
frustrating.
that our prosecutor had already come up to an agreement on.
Yeah.
But that I would like to see us start giving some different direction to our prosecutor.
Yeah, so I think the police chief is looking at other municipalities and going to get us in line. And I basically told him last night, I was like, I want to be the top third at least. Like, I don't care if this is a substantial fine where we lead the pack. Because this is annoying. I said this last night, like, the board works too hard to improve Mundelein for us to be known as the place where minors can go buy booze.
Correct.
I'm not,
and I would like to see us use the suspension power.
Agreed.
And not on a Wednesday.
Yes, agreed. Then that's we brought that up before, that the last time we pulled a liquor license for a violation was we picked a Wednesday.
Yeah, it was some random day during the week when sales would be down anyways.
Exactly. I want it on like a Saturday.
Yeah, and
during football or Sunday during
They should
football.
have to post a sign that says we can't sell today because we sold to a minor. Like,
I agree. Oh, it's incredibly frustrating.
So
both of us are parents. Both of us were annoyed. TBD on what happens.
Yes, and kudos to Steve, to the mayor. He was hot last night. He was passionate about this one, and you could tell he's upset about it, which is good.
Yeah.
So 4 violations, 2 for Circle K. And I say 4 violations. There was actually multiple violations on each of these violations. One for no Bassett training, and then one for the actual sale. And then the clerks that sold the alcohol also have to, they got cited, and they have to go in front of an administrative hearing officer.
Which is today.
Today, yeah. So there's a lot more to it than just saying they got a violation.
Yeah, but it obviously is not enough.
So there was a grocery store, 2 Circle Ks. What was the first one? Rosati's.
Which is really disappointing because they just opened.
Correct.
I wanted to say that last night. Like, you guys just opened.
Yeah.
Get your life together. And I get human error happens. Sure. But like, it's so easy right now. Like the IDs are vertical.
Well, so the police chief did bring that up last night. Was, you know, the people that go in are actual people. They're 18 and 19-year
Using
olds
their own actual
using their
IDs.
real IDs, which are vertical if you're under 21.
Oh my gosh.
And that should have been a huge red flag, and it
Nope.
it didn't
Nope.
Didn't get caught.
Nope.
So
Oh my God.
that
So
was
annoying.
something that I'm glad he brought up
Yeah.
and pointed out.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So
Anyways.
we're annoyed.
So we're annoyed, and we're looking at increasing the fines. And personally, I hope using the suspension powers a little bit more. So
Actually, I hope we don't. But if
well,
we, yeah,
if the need arises, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's not something I want to do. I'm not out there trying to find a
No.
business to
No,
penalize,
no,
but
like,
hey, if you're gonna serve to minors, then
yeah. Yep.
that's what happens.
Okay.
Okay,
End
next.
that rant.
End of rant. Yes,
End
move
that
on.
rant. We're gonna move right on. Okay. We had 2 appointments to the old number 1 fire truck committee.
Yep.
Which actually I said that wrong. It's just the old number 1 committee. My bad.
Yeah.
But that's the fire truck that goes around. That thing is sweet.
Two prior mechanics
I know. Jerry Hemmerling, who literally retired like a month ago
from the village.
from
Yep.
the village, and then Eli McLean. So cool. And then we get to really exciting stuff.
Trash.
Trash.
Yep.
Trash. Me and Trustee Wilson were appointed to the Groot waste hauling contract negotiations.
I so wanted to say a joke last night, but I just kept it to myself because, you know.
God, I got so lucky. How did I get so lucky? So my life's gonna be trash. We have our first meeting on Thursday.
Oh, you're jumping right into this.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know Trustee Wilson. He does not mess around.
He does not mess around. Yeah, so he's on it.
I'm gonna have to caffeinate heavily before it, but keep up with him. But I got this.
You got it. All right.
And then mayoral proclamation recognizing Arbor Day. And then we plant a tree at Washington School.
Yep.
All of this.
All
tree
the stuff.
Also, we got recognized as a tree-friendly city. We'll talk more about that later in a second, but ties into Arbor Day. What else? Early voting site.
Yeah, so because Mundelein, I think we touched on this before, but
Yeah, we touched on it during the budget meeting.
oh, that's right, the budget meeting.
We got
so if you
15
missed that one,
watch it.
the census data came out, and Mundelein is now one of the largest municipalities, the 3rd largest in the county, and by state law, we're required to provide an early voting site. So that early voting site, the next 10 years, will be at Fire Station Number 1 on Midlothian.
Yep, it's kind of nice. Makes it convenient.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm stoked about it because I missed it at the library.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So it's nice to have it back.
Exactly.
All right. Interest of time. Let's
Raise
move
grant
along.
support. So
Yep.
this is a federal program to support infrastructure.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, for East Holly.
We're going to use it for East Holly
For
if we
East
get
Holly,
it.
yeah.
So this is just
So we're
allowing us to participate in the grant.
Right. We just
No
adopted a
money's going-
resolution expressing support.
Yep. And then we went into community and economic development. We approved a variation for a sunroom, which we had talked about last episode, 2 episodes ago,
Yep.
where we gave staff approval to draft the ordinance. This time or draft variation. No,
Right,
draft the
for
ordinance granting variation.
3 feet difference here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the guy's gonna go build a sunroom.
Yep.
We are amending some impact fees. So those impact fees are what the developer pays when they want to build here. Stormwater, expansion fee, transportation, capital development.
And cleaning up some language where it doesn't apply for government buildings or infills. So if there's a lot between homes,
Right.
in an already established subdivision, then that doesn't apply.
Right.
We're talking about actual ginormous
New
developments.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Gas station use standards text amendment. So a citizen filed a request to change the zoning code. And it was brought up last night that this is the first time that it's actually come from
Good for
just
her, man.
a citizen. Yeah. This is people being involved and active in their government.
Yep.
And this is the way it's supposed to work.
Yep.
So usually it comes from staff or from a developer or,
Or
some
us.
other way,
Yeah.
right? The board
We
kind of
see it.
says, hey, we did it last night.
Yeah, that's true.
And we say, well, we should look at this or this needs to be changed. And we point staff in that direction. But last night it came before us coming from a citizen, and that individual wanted to see some changes to
We should have printed out our notes. I should have brought them down.
I know,
There
'cause
was
there
of
was
them. There was
E of them.
E of them. A, B, C, D, E. 4, 5 of them. 4
Yes,
of them.
E of them. So 5 different amendments, and I'll see if I can remember them. One had to do with lighting
Lighting.
and the foot candles at the property line.
That was A.
One had to do with diesel,
That was B.
whether it could be its own island or not in the downtown only. Then there was the size of vehicles based on license plates and the gross vehicle weight.
That was C.
There was the radius, a 500-foot
I
buffer.
think that was D and E.
That was E.
E.
And then there
D?
was one other. You want to pull it up on your phone, and I can talk while you do that.
Keep talking, Trusty.
So we'll start with A, which was lighting, and lighting was a request so that there was 0-foot candles at the property line, and we have some language already about the downtown area because it's denser that we would have 2-foot candles at the property line.
Mm-hmm.
So this brought up some issues where we would have one classification of business have stricter zoning than other classifications within the same zoning district. So at that, we said, yes, let's just take a bigger look at this, and we directed staff to look at
lighting in the village as a whole, especially as lighting changes, LED bulbs, that thing.
And one of the things that bothered me was when we went through the Thornton's GMX discussions a few months ago, was here we were giving Thornton's a variation to increase their lighting because our code was restrictive. But then on the flip side of it, across the street, the lighting at another service station was extremely bright and way out of bounds.
Right.
And if we're going to take a look at lighting, then some of that needs to be brought into consideration. Standardization would be good. Yeah. All right. So that was A. What was next?
B was gas stations and driveways must be located. This is the one that can't interfere with railroad, pedestrian entrances or crossings, and then other adjoining streets. So,
or they need to be considered at least.
Right. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Designed to ensure they will not adversely affect.
And we agreed on this one.
We did agree on this one. So it is
approved.
Yes.
So that'll come back to the board for a final vote.
Yep. And then C, new gas stations may not include separate diesel islands for fueling.
Yeah, so I wasn't thrilled with this.
So I spoke about this too because I feel like this is just like super obstruct and like doesn't feel like this ever really happens because this was only in the downtown zoning district.
Right.
And it's only for new places. And I just felt like maybe we were wasting time even having staff do this, but whatever.
And I'm not sure if this is the one where I brought up, but I always hear Trustee Semple, well, the next board could just take it back and change it or give a variance or whatever it may be.
Yeah, it just felt very bureaucratic.
It did. I'm okay with it.
That's fine.
But it does feel a bit bureaucratic.
Yeah. D was...
Wait, was that C?
That was C. D was the weight one, the weight restriction.
Which I think most of us kind of said, how? How would you design or enforce? And that one just seems to be a bit cumbersome.
Yeah. E was the 500 feet. Oh, there was F, so there were 6 of them.
500 feet, and then what was last?
No, E was the proposed location will not adversely affect the development of the general neighborhood or adjacent neighborhoods.
So this one got a unanimous no from the board because of it's
we can't
very
see
hard
the future.
You can't see the future, and it's too hard to quantify.
Yep. And then
sorry, one last thing. The other side of that is the free market, and I even brought up during this one.
Oh, this was the one that said we should consider the number of businesses, the number of gas stations before you approve another gas station. And I said this. I said I don't ever want to consider the number of something before we approve it because to what end? We have too many restaurants. We have too many barber shops. We have too many whatever.
Right. And I brought up the example that I've been in downtown areas where there's been, 3 Starbucks on 4 corners, and they're all making money. They all have people. Business, they all have lines inside. So at what point does the market
dictate what goes where?
Right. Yep.
And then F was the 500-foot buffer.
Yeah. And
we both were torn on this.
We talked about this prior to the meeting, and this one really was hard for me because I see exactly what they're trying to do. And
it's the right intention.
The right intention. I just don't think that the language was flushed out enough. And I asked the petitioner why this was written one way, and by that I mean we're telling gas stations they can't go within 500 feet of residential. But if this is truly about people's health, why aren't we changing the residential zoning so that you can't build new residential within 500 feet of a gas station too? And that kind of bothered me as to, okay, we're doing this one way, but not the other. And then the other side that I am concerned about is the number of gas stations that become non-conforming uses.
Yeah, and that and even the homeowners that are around them.
And the petitioners have slides about brownfields in their presentation, and if these gas stations are non-conforming uses that can't get refinanced because they're non-conforming, or they can't update things, there's a chance that they become obsolete and brownfields in the community that just sit vacant. And I'm not thrilled with that idea. I'd rather they stay up to date and current
and functioning. Yep.
Correct.
So that's what happened.
So those last two were denied by the board. I think that leaves us out of the F many, the 6. Right. I think 3.
Well, the lighting one.
No, there was 4 that ultimately we're moving forward on. I think 3 are coming back as approvals.
Okay.
One is coming back as we're taking a broader look at it.
Recommendation. Yeah.
Yep. As lighting overall, and 2 were denied.
Okay, and that is basically the meeting. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
We gotta talk about the budget.
Yeah, we gotta talk about the budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Public Works and Public Works Committee, it was just recognizing Mundelein as being a Tree City, USA.
So every year we gotta go through this with the mayoral proclamations and the planting at Washington School.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we passed the budget.
So the budget was
it's a big number.
It's a big number. What was it? 62
million.
62 million. Yeah, it's a sizable budget, not the largest that we've seen, but it's a sizable budget. And it's balanced, and it adds money to the reserves.
And it adds $2 million for streets through 2 or 3.
Lots of capital improvements. This is a good, strong budget, and I gave kudos to everybody for it last night.
You did. The state of our union is strong.
That's right. I mean, the mayor was like, here.
Yeah. I think the mayor just doesn't know what to do with you ever.
It sounds about right.
And then you paid some bills?
Yeah, what was it? $698,288.80. And that's about average for bills, although here we are halfway through April, and the next fiscal year it's going to go back up. So stay tuned in the next month.
Some bigger numbers.
Yep.
Public safety, that's me. Blood drive went well.
71 units.
Yeah.
11
new donors. That's amazing.
I got Nick to agree, but we didn't make it in
Is he old enough?
Yeah, 16.
Dang, he's 16. Dang.
I know.
And then police had its telecommunicators.
Yep.
Week, and Chief Monahan spoke on that. Also, there is a fundraising event at Youthage Culinary on Saturday. Police versus Fire. So if anyone wants to get in on that, come out and check that out. And then Coffee with a Cop is Friday at Karina's. So Theo will be pumped. The police department and donuts from Karina's. He doesn't get much better when you're 5 years old.
Right. That's true.
Building committee, there was no update, no report.
I was gonna say, is NASA gonna be there because he wants to be a space cop?
Yeah, he'll have to. He had a full-on conversation with DC Seeley about that, so I'm sure he'll ask him about it again. These poor police officers dealing with my son. We went to go pick up like a donation, and Theo was like, "Oh, I know you. You eat donuts," and I was like, "Oh God." Meaning he saw them at Starbucks eating a donut during the last Coffee with the Cop, but I like turned like so red, and I was like, "Oh, he didn't mean it like that."
That's awesome.
From the mouth of babes.
From the mouth of babes is right.
Transportation infrastructure, we have like 1 minute and then I have to go. So just go, hurry.
Okay, so transportation and infrastructure. So we did, this is the road reconstruction. So the miles and miles of roads that we're doing the reconstruction for, it was $1.9 million.
Also talked about in the budget presentation, budget podcast from last week.
So omnibus vote list, we did the executive session meeting release. So those should be available on our website. That's a change from the past where you used to have to FOIA. Now you don't.
Now they're on there.
And then we did a lot of final plats and amendments
For Oak Creek. Which has been discussed ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum.
So now we're just approving it. So we're
Yep.
rolling.
And then a big grant for 605 to 625 North Midlothian for $25,000. That's over by where Tamales Diana,
Yep.
and that shopping center back in there. So they've been doing a lot of work.
There we go.
China Court. Yep.
I was like, what else is in there?
So no other reports, no executive session, and we were done at 8:20-ish. 8:30.
Yep.
Somewhere
so
around
that's it.
There. Yeah. It was a good night.
It was a good night.
A good
Got
budget.
a lot done.
Got a lot done.
Budget passed. A balanced budget passed.
A surplus budget.
Check that podcast out.
Yes. Good stuff. All right. We'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a good weekend.
Enjoy your day.
Goodbye.